Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I wanted to do just a little review on Crowder College's transport training program, since I'm now officially done with that and I am now employed with CFI. Where I wanted to start off with was first saying a little bit about a little small summary of the program. Basically, this program takes you from having your permit already, like if you already have your permit, to getting your CDL. It's what this college is here at Crowder. It's actually a community college in Neosho, Missouri, and they have many different programs there. Anything from general education, general studies, to an e-gaming portion, auto mechanic, nursing, veterinary, all those kinds of programs like that. But one of their biggest draws is the transport training program that they have there, and that one is affiliated directly with CFI. So CFI, they have these deals with a couple of different driving schools. If you're gonna apply to be a brand new driver with CFI, if you don't have your licensing, they will put you through this program. And there's 3 different options that you can do. One of the options is, if you're from the Texas area, if you don't have your permit, or you don't have your permit yet, you can sign up for the school in Fort Worth. I can't remember exactly what the name of that school is, but they'll take you through the whole process of getting your permit and getting your CDL. It's only for Texas residents only, and that one is about a 4-week program. Then there's 2 of them that are in Missouri. One of them is Truck Dynasty. That's just a straight up trucking school only, and they will do a 3-week program there. It's automatic transmission only. They will not put you through the standard transmission training. And then your housing there is a hotel. So for 3 weeks, you're living out of a hotel room and being transported to Truck Dynasty in Springfield, Missouri. Then there's the program that I signed up for, which was the one with Crowder College in Neosho, Missouri, which is about 30 minutes away from Joplin, which is where the headquarters for CFI is. So on that one, it's also a 3-week training program. Automatic transmission only is what CFI will put you through. But Crowder does offer a standard transmission program as well. The thing is that when you sign up with CFI, they're gonna front the money for the program, and so they're only gonna give you the automatic training, because CFI doesn't really use standard transmission trucks at this point. Most of their fleet is all automatics. So that one's a 3-week program for the automatic transmission training. You're there for about 3 weeks or so, depending on how you're doing, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But with those options there for their transport training program, you can choose whether or not, if you're local of Neosho, Missouri, or of the area, and you sign up for this program just outside of doing it through a trucking company, like if you just go and fill out an application at the college and sign up for the program, you don't have to. You can choose whether or not you want to pay for the in-campus housing, or if you don't. For me, I'm from Texas, so I don't know anybody in the Missouri area, so I went ahead and they went ahead and did the housing for me, and I stayed in their dorm room setups, which is what I'll get into a little bit later. But I stayed in there, so I had housing on campus and all that good stuff there. So now let's get into the nuts and bolts of the program itself. So in the program, you already have your permit. So when you start this program, 3 weeks kind of sounds like a lot, but it really goes by so quick, and you're doing so much so fast. So the purpose of what it seems like what the college's goal is to get you in the truck doing everything that's necessary, that's going to be necessary for you to pass the CDL exam within about a 2-week period. So I know what you're thinking at that point. You're thinking, well, I thought the program was 3 weeks. That is true, but what I came to find out is that you only do about 2 weeks of in the truck training as you're preparing for the CDL exam. In Missouri, I'm not sure how the driving part is in other states, but in Missouri, they require 3 parts to the road test. Doing the pre-trip inspection, the backing maneuvers, and the actual on-the-road driving portion of the test. You pass those 3 things, you get your CDL. So for the first 2 weeks of the program, they're teaching you how to do all the backing maneuvers that are gonna be required on the test, and they're taking you for drives. The one thing that I will tell you that they're not going to spend a lot of time on, and I'm not sure if this is how it is for other schools, but for this one in particular, they're not going to spend a lot of time teaching you how to do a pre-trip. They're going to give you the tools. They're going to give you a manual. They're going to give you a video, links to video on YouTube that you can go and watch the pre-trip video for Crowder. And you're going to have to learn how to do a pre-trip inspection to the T on your own time, outside of class hours. Class hours for the program are from 7:30 a.m. to about 4:30-ish, 5, depending on how far behind you are and all that fun stuff. But it may as well just be 7:30 to about 5 every day. Monday through Friday, they don't do classes on the weekends. They also don't do classes on holidays. So, but throughout that time, you're not able to spend a lot of time doing pre-trip inspections. During that time, they're going to be having you in the truck so that you can practice all the backing maneuvers, and then you can go on your drives. For those first 2 weeks, that's all you're doing. You're pretty much just getting there in the morning, going through a little small, quick, like pre-trip inspection. Like, you're not really going through a whole entire one that would take like an hour to do. And then you're getting in the truck and you're learning how to do a straight back. You're learning how to do an offset back. You're learning how to do a parallel parking both ways, both driver side and blind side. And then you're also learning how to do 90 degree back, or alleyway back, however you want to put it. For those 2 first weeks, that's all you're doing. And then you're going on, I think we were going on about 2 drives away. I think we had done like a total of about four like in neighborhood drives, which was, city driving, highway driving, and then a little bit of parking in truck stops, just because he just wanted to give us, our teacher just wanted to give us a little bit of experience in that. Not a requirement on the test. But anyways, so for those first 2 weeks, that's all you're doing. You're spending most of the days doing those backing procedures, and then when the instructor feels that you kind of got enough practice on it, then it's their job to actually test you for the college, not for the CDL, but for the college scores, because you still have a college grade. Like, you're still being graded by the college, but that grade has nothing to do with the CDL exam. I'll explain that here in a minute too. But anyway, so you're doing that for the first 2 weeks. Then when you come back for that 3rd week, right at the beginning of that 3rd week of the program, you're taking your CDL test. So you're not taking your CDL test at the end of the program, you're taking it right after about the 2nd week. So you have to be prepared within 2 weeks' time to feel confident enough to pass the test, the road test at least, right? And like I said, the road test consists of pre-trip inspection, backing maneuvers, and an actual road test. So in Missouri, once again, I'm going off of my experience and how I did it, but in Missouri, the pre-trip inspection wasn't an entire thing. It wasn't like an entire pre-trip inspection of the entire truck. It was they kind of tell you what they're looking for, sections on the pre-trip, and then you go and do a pre-trip on those sections. You're not going to have to go from front all the way to the back. You're just going to have to go through whatever the examiner tells you he's looking for an inspection of this section and then this section. The one thing that is required on the pre-trip is in-dash, all the in-dash stuff, or the in-cab, excuse me. All the in-cab inspection portions are all required. You have to do an entire in-cab inspection, and you have to do all of the brake test. You have to do the trailer and the tractor brake test. You have to do the service brake test, and then you have to do the air brakes test. It's important on the air brakes test that you don't mess up the method of it at all, because it is an automatic fail if you do any portion of the air brake test incorrectly. Depending on who your examiner is, they may give you another chance if you do mess up on it, but if you don't, you'll fail that air brake portion, and more than likely your test will be over. They start off with the pre-trip inspection. If you get enough points correctly, you will pass and you will move on to the backing maneuvers. If you fail the pre-trip inspection, you don't get to move on to anything else. Your day's done. So for me, I passed it on the first try on the pre-trip, so it was on to the backing maneuvers. The backing maneuvers, once again, you're not going to do every single one that you learned. You're going to do a combination of 3. Straight back is a guarantee. You're going to have to do a straight back, and you're going to have to do 1 offset. Depending on where the examiner starts you off for your straight back, if we start you off on the right lane, more than likely you're going to do a right lane to left lane, offset back. Vice versa, depending on where you start for the straight. And then the third one could be one of 3 options. It could either be the 90-degree back, or it could be one of the 2 parallel backs. For me, I got the driver's side parallel, and I did very well on those. I pretty much aced my backing maneuvers test. I felt really good about that. I was kind of nervous about it because, now you're taking everything that you've learned over the past 2 weeks, and you feel like everything's just been crammed. You feel like you haven't had a lot of time to really practice all these things. And the reason that I say that before I continue with the road portion is there's not a set amount of what these classroom numbers are. For Crowder College, they start classes for the transport program every week. So every Monday, you might have a new class starting. And depending on who's signed up and whatnot, you could have a class as small as 1 person to a class as big as of about 12 people. So think about that for just a minute when I say how fast-paced this program is and how careful you have to be when you sign up for a course like this and for a school like this. Because for me, fortunately, my class only ended up being 2 people. So for me, I was able to get a lot of time in the truck. I was able to get a lot of practice time in the truck with the backing maneuvers and driving and whatnot. So although I still felt a little bit nervous when I got to the testing parts, I still felt like I had a lot of time to practice. I had a lot of time in the truck. But for those classes that are going to end up with about more than 5 people, you got to think about it. From 7:30 to 4 o'clock, or whatever the time is, you got to share your practice time with from 5 to 10 other people if that's what the class size is. So depending on your skill level, how quick you are being able to pick up things, that could be a problem. I could see how that could be a problem. So something to think about too when you're thinking about signing up for a driving course and whatnot is you may want to ask what the average class size is for the school that you're signing up for, because they'll tell you, hey, we average about 4 people to 10 people a class. It just depends on sign up. They'll give you a ballpark, and that'll help you decide, man, like if it ends up being 10 people, man, am I ready to only get a certain amount of time in the truck? If you feel like you're going to need a lot more time in the truck, then you may try looking for another program that may be able to be more hands-on with you so that you get more time in the truck. Because in this program, you don't get to do any practicing outside of class hours in the truck. You can practice your pre-trip and everything, but you can't do anything in the truck outside of class hours or on the weekends. The only time you got in the truck is during class time. So if you're a person that feels that you're not going to be able to pick this up right away, you're going to need a lot more time in the truck, it's something to think about. So going back to the next portion, the driving portion of the test. The driving portion on the road is a combination of everything that you've learned while you've gone out on your drives. So you're doing city driving, you're doing a little bit of highway driving, you're taking some tight turns. They want to see how you do on tight turns. They want to see if you adhere to all signal signs, and that you're being safe, that you're keeping under the speed limit. All of that fun stuff on that. It's about 45 minutes of a drive, depending on, I guess, what city you're doing it in. Either way, they're going to try to take you in some kind of a circle back to where the beginning of the test started. And the key to it is just to remain calm, stay in the lines when you're driving, watch all your signs, watch all your lights, watch for people crossings, watch the cars in front of you, keep a good distance, don't slam on the brakes. When you're turning, do not hit a curb. Do everything in your power to not hit any curbs when you're turning. Even if you go outside of the lane when you're turning, that's better than hitting a curb. Hitting a curb is going to be big major points against you. So do not hit any curbs when you're taking your driving test. But for me, I passed all 3 portions of it on the first try. I was pretty proud of myself. I felt really good that I was able to accomplish that on the first try. So then even after that, after you do your exam and you find out that you passed, the program isn't over. There's still 3 additional days left before you graduate from the program. So when you come back the next day, you got to learn how to do. They're gonna teach you how to do pre-trip planning. They're gonna spend some time on that. Then they're going to teach you the 45-degree back, which is not a requirement on the CDL test, but the 45-degree back is the most common back used, other than the straight back, in the industry. Typically, when you go out to a dock, to a shipper, and you're going to drop trailers, or you're going to pick up are you going to drop trailers, or you're going to back into a dock, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to set yourself up for a 45 or something close to a 45. So they're going to spend the next couple of days, probably 1 or 2 days, on doing 45-degree backs. And then that's the last backing maneuver that they teach you. It's the very last big major thing that they teach you. You spend pretty much the rest of the days doing that, and then on the last day, they go over how to put on chains on tires, just little things at that point. Teach you how to put tires on chains, and then teach you how to what else did I learn on that? I'm trying to remember what I learned on the last day. I just remember putting chains on the tires. And then, depending on who your instructor is, they may rap with you for a little bit on just the trucking industry in general, and how it is to be out there on the road, and different things to look for and stuff like that, because this is the send-off, so that if they're nice enough, they may sit there and rap with you a little bit and try to give you some pointers for the road, and then you do a couple of administrative things, like doing a review of the course and doing a review of your instructor. And then that's pretty much it. After 3 weeks, you're done, and then they give you a certificate of completion of the program. They give you a certificate of completion of the online courses that you did. because you will have to do a more than a handful. It's like a big ass list. Pardon my French, but it's a big list of online course modules that you're gonna have to do on your computer or cell phone, and you're gonna have to complete all of those modules before you can graduate. If you don't complete all those modules, you will not graduate from the college, and they will not give you all your paperwork. They won't give you the certificates of completion of the program. They won't give you the Missouri examination, like completion of the CDL exam, that you'll show as proof to take when you take to your DMV. Although your DMV should automatically get sent the test scores from the college when you go to actually upgrade your CDL. But you won't get any of that stuff unless you finish those online modules. And I'll give you a tip on those. You're gonna get some class time every now and then, about an hour at the end of the day, around maybe 3 o'clock sometimes, to go into the lab that they have there at Crowder and do these modules. Don't rely on just that time to do these modules. Do them after hours. Do them all over the weekends while you're there. Get them done, knock them out, so that by the time you get to that last week, you don't even have to worry about those online course modules. All you'll have to worry about is passing your CDL and then doing whatever's left required to graduate from the program so you can get your certificates. If you decide not to do that and you decide to slack off and knock off on that, it's going to be a little bit more harder for you to concentrate on, the driving test and everything that's required from there. It becomes a little difficult if you don't just knock those things out. It's a lot of watching videos. It's a lot of reading. It is very, very time consuming, but you will have enough time while you're not in class to get those things done, so that way you don't have to worry about it. And that's really the only in-class instruction if you want to use it as that. And what that's all entailed about is it's pretty much just everything that you learned when you were studying for your permit is all in these online modules again. You're gonna see a lot of stuff that you've already studied before, and a lot of new stuff like trucking, like truckers against trafficking information, safety information, things about the FMCSA, things about hours of how to do hours of service before you even start working for a company. Like there's a lot of online modules that are just go over all kinds of different things, go over hazmat, and you have to do all of those online courses before you're done. The beauty of those is that if you decide to do them at home or not in class time, is that if you really want to do it this way, you can. I didn't really know a lot of this information, so it was very useful to me. I paid attention to a lot of it. But if you're just one of those that's like, dude, I know all this, I don't really care, like then you can just watch the videos or go through the material, take the test. If you fail it, it gives you a layout of the answers, and if you want to take screenshots of those and whatnot, and then go back and zoom through the videos again, and then take the test and do it that way, that's an option. No one says you can't do it that way, and no one's gonna fault you for doing it that way. I probably wouldn't advertise to the teachers that that's how you did it, but nobody really double checks. They just want to know that you completed everything. They just want to know that you completed everything, because they can't move you on until you're done with that. So that's pretty much how that portion works of it. So you got to do all the online stuff, the online classwork. Then you gotta pass your CDL exam. Then you gotta just make sure that you do all the other stuff to pass the course, and you will get a grade. They'll give you a GPA at the end of the course, because you're gonna get tested on the backing procedures and the driving and whatnot, and those are your test score. Those are your scores for the college. I'm guessing that, I'm not sure your GPA doesn't matter in the grand scheme of companies. All the companies care about is that you got your CDL, and that's it. They don't care what test grades you got on the CDL. They don't care what test grades you got on the college, or what grades you got on the college. That's more just for your information, and then I'm sure the college uses it for their marketing and their records and whatnot. They want to be able to show the state, hey, we pass a lot of these guys that come through, a lot of these guys and girls that come through here. Either way, you get a whole little certificate packet. It's real nice and whatnot. So that's pretty much the whole program in a nutshell, as far as the educational parts. Now I want to get into the amenities of the whole program. The program does come with amenities. Like I said, if you decide to do the on-campus housing, you will be randomly put into either one or two spots. You're either going to get a dorm that they have right outside of the campus grounds, but still within walking distance of everything, and or you're going to get put in the campus apartments, which is an apartment complex that's across the street from the college, and you'll get put in there. I don't know that if you sign up for this on your own, if you get to choose one or the other. I didn't get to choose. It was just kind of, I guess, whatever they had available. So I got put in the dorms. And what these dorms are is exactly what you would probably think what a dorm would look like. It's 3 bedrooms in a little kind of what looks like a duplex kind of setup. You got this big row, this big like house, like almost looks like a trailer park home, just a huge thing. And it's got about 5 different units in it, and each unit has 3 rooms in it. So you get your own private room if your class size is not huge. If your class size is huge, each room comes with 2 beds. So you might end up sharing a room which is no bigger than about, maybe like 10 by 13, something like that. I didn't measure it, but it was like a 10 by 13 foot room. And you're going to have to share that with another person, and you're going to have to sleep on a twin size bed. And those beds are awful. If there's one thing I did let the college know about on the review, it was the bedding situation. The bedding situation, it looks like these mattresses were from the 90s, and you lay on it, and it's like a plastic layer with springs on it. That's it. And it was not comfortable to sleep on those beds. So if you're going to do this program and you're going to do the on-campus housing, bring plenty of blankets with you. I made the mistake of bringing 1 blanket and 1 pillow. And it was not comfortable. I had a lot of trouble sleeping in that dorm because the beds were not comfortable. They're very uncomfortable. I was very grateful that this was getting provided to me at no cost to me, at least, as long as I go through the whole CFI program, but at no cost to me, but it was still very uncomfortable. The dorms also come with 2 bathrooms in each unit that has one toilet and 1 shower. And then it has 2 sinks in each one. So you got 2 sinks in one bathroom and 2 sinks in another bathroom. The shower is pretty much one of those stand up only showers that you probably have seen. I'm trying to think where y'all might have seen these showers before, but it's literally just enough room for one person to stand straight up in this shower. There is no moving around, and there's really very little bending over that you can do in these showers. They're really, really tiny. Water works just fine though, so that's good. Hot water and cold water. That's nice. But it's very small. So it's just something to get, to be aware of. Then the has central heating and air, and AC. Perfectly fine. Didn't have any problems with that. Each room comes with a microwave, a refrigerator, and a TV. That has that doesn't come with cable or anything. It's just a TV. but it does have, it's a smart TV, so it does have like apps and stuff like that. And they give you a DVD player because they give you a DVD to watch that has the pre-trip on it. So, and what I found there is they do have cleaning people. I'm gonna warn you right now. That dorm was not very clean when I walked in on day one. And a cleaning person had just walked out of there when I walked in. And I'll tell you, it didn't look like the floors were very clean. And the microwave was definitely not cleaned. I opened the microwave and it was dirty as hell. So just something to think about when you go into these dorms. Just make sure that you double check everything. They'll give you some paper products and stuff and whatnot to start off with, but you do have to provide everything extra for yourself. Soaps, bath soaps you have to provide on your own, and then so on and so forth. Whatever other toiletries and things like that you're gonna have to provide for yourself. Food situation. This is another nice amenity about the college. The college has a cafeteria, and since you are a student of the college, you are given 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Except on the weekends, they only got 2 meals. They got a brunch and a dinner. But either way, you get fed for free at no extra charge to you. That's a part of the tuition. So if you're kind of strapped for cash and whatnot, and you're worried about whether or not you're going to be able to eat or anything like that, you will get fed through the cafeteria system. They do, because of that, they don't give you a stipend. CFI doesn't give you a stipend for eating. They let the college provide you for eating. Anything else though, if you want to go out to eat, anything like that is going to be on your tab. And then the other amenities of the college are that you can use the student center there that has a pool table, a ping pong table, vending machines, a study area, on-campus Wi-Fi. That's pretty decent if you don't have your own Wi-Fi situation and you need Wi-Fi, you can just go and use it on campus. The Wi-Fi does stretch to the dorms, but it's very, very, very faint. By the time you get to the dorms, it's very, very faint. So you might be able to get it, you might not be able to get it. I'm trying to think if there was any other amenities for the college, but I think that was pretty much it. The housing situation and the food one is a pretty big one for a lot of people. Get fed. Foods, if I had to rate the food, it's decent. It's not bad. They have different options for everybody. They have low-fat options for people that might be vegans, vegetarians, or just people on diets. They have options for those, and then they just have your general different food items every day. So, and you can eat as much as you want. There's no cap on how much you can eat in a sitting. That's up to you how much you want to eat. So that's pretty much it for the amenities on the college side of things. There's no gym facilities on the college. So if you're a person that likes to work out, you're not gonna have any free amenities to use. Although the college is big enough to do jogging, and whatnot, and floor exercises and whatnot if you want to. You don't have access to any of the athletic gyms. That's something you don't have access to. If you try to go and access the athletic gyms, that's on you. But you don't have access to the student athletes gyms. There is, however, a YMCA that's right outside of the college. It was also within walking distance. And I believe you can sign up there you can either buy $10 a day passes. If you feel like during those 3 weeks you are going to need a gym and you're going to have to go every day to the gym, then you can sign up for the 1 month thing with them. I think it's like $40 for a month membership with the YMCA there, and then you can go in and out as many times as you want. And but that's up to you. But they do not provide that for you. That is, in a big nutshell, the program. For me, my personal experience with it, I liked it. I liked that there's many different instructors. They have a more than a handful of driving instructors, but the one that I had, Randy, he was he was very good to me. He was very good to us, to me and my fellow classmate, and he taught us in a way that I thought worked for me, because I like to be the type that I don't need you to kind of hand walk me through it all the time. You just got to show me a few times, and then I will just get in there and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get in that truck and I'm going to figure it out. I appreciate that he let us kind of ride the wave on our own a little bit. Whenever he saw us that we were kind of struggling a little too much, he would kind of stop and he would be like, hey guys, let's just stop, and let me just kind of walk you through this again. He like most teachers, you're going to get a little bit frustrated when your students don't seem to be getting something, but versus just him being frustrated, not doing anything about it, he would actually take the time to be like, look, this is how you got to do it, man. And I appreciated that about him. And we got it every single time. His methods may have been kind of a little unorthodox, but it worked for me. And it was nice. And he was very respectful. He was not disrespectful to us. It made me feel really comfortable learning from him. And I feel like I got a lot of good information from him when it came to everything that I learned. Obviously, I passed the CDL exam on the first try, so I'm pretty sure that looks pretty good on him. So did my classmate. Apparently, people there, mostly, some of them don't pass it on the first try. Some of them have to take it the next day. But for me and my classmate, we passed it on the first day, so we felt pretty good about that. And I'm sure Randy felt pretty good about that too. I can't really speak for the other instructors, although I did hear some students kind of complaining about their instructors about different things, but everybody teaches a different way. And I can't speak for the other instructors because I only had one, and he was pretty good to me. So I had a good experience with it. I will say that it is very fast paced. And if you're a person that doesn't pick up on things very quickly and you need a lot more time to get things and to apply them, I don't know if this is the program for you or not. Everybody learns at a different pace and learns differently. For me, this was about the perfect amount of time that I thought was needed for me. It worked out for me. I'm a pretty fast learner. I pick up things pretty quick. So for me, this was pretty good. But if you feel like, wow, never being in a truck before and experiencing what it is to drive one, right, or much less backing one up, if you feel that you might not be able to get it in 2 weeks' time before you take the actual CDL exam, I would research a little bit more on maybe schools that spread out their learning over a certain amount of time versus a Monday through Friday quick setup like what I went through. And I would suggest maybe finding something like that. And then finding something that maybe will be more personable with you, where you'll be able to spend a lot of time in a truck and you won't have to share your time with a lot of other people, so that you feel like you're getting enough time that you need in the truck to practice. That would be my only suggestion on that. But if you're a person that feels like you're a fast learner, you can pick up things very quickly, and you're really good at self-teaching yourself, because you're going to have to do a lot of studying on your own during the course of this program, then I think this is the program for you then. Or a program like this. If you see other programs that are like this, that are 21-day programs, I would say, give it a shot. Go out there and try it. And if you want to venture out to Neosho, Missouri and go to Crowder College, you don't have to apply with CFI to do this program. Like I said at the beginning, you can go and sign up for this and you want on your own. And you can drive up to Neosho, Missouri, and you can stay at a dorm. And I tell you, I got a price breakdown here of everything, of what it costs. So the total cost of the program is $3,958. That's the total cost with housing. The housing that cost $402. That's for 3 weeks of housing. You got to think about that for a minute. Some hotels you won't be able to get 3 weeks at $402. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good rate. $402 for 3 weeks. Now, granted, the housing isn't perfect, and you will have to kind of try to make yourself comfortable as much as you can. It's still $402 for housing. If you decide you don't want to do the housing, just then it comes out to about $3,500 for the program. I don't think that that's a lot of money to get your CDL based on the different programs that I researched when I was thinking about doing this. I'd average about $3,000 to $5,000 for trucking school programs. So this is about on average with it. The only thing about it is you do have to go to Neosho, Missouri. And I'm going to tell you right now, Neosho, Missouri is a small town. They have one Walmart, if that tells you how small it is. And there is not very much to do. They have a movie theater and a small bowling alley. And, your typical general restaurants like McDonald's and whatnot. But there is not much to do in Neosho, Missouri. And if you don't bring your own vehicle and you end up doing the program without driving there yourself on your own vehicle, good luck finding any kind of transportation ride shares. There was, I think, one Uber driver the entire time that we were able to get. And we would just have to be crossing our fingers that he was available. Otherwise, you're walking everywhere. And the nearest Walmart from the school is about 3 miles away, and that's about where everything else is at too. That's about where the food establishments and everything are. They're all about 3 miles away, which is about a 45-minute walk, 45 to an hour walk if you're gonna walk it from the school and back. An hour to and then an hour back. So may as well mark it for 2 hours of walking by the time you're done, right? And then Uber, because there's not that many drivers there and not that many people, I guess, requesting Uber, it's really expensive to go from the college to Walmart. It cost us $10 one way. So we were paying close to about $20 both ways to round trip for a 3-minute car ride. It's kind of ridiculous if you're asking me, but them's the breaks. That's the only really drawback that I felt about the whole entire program. It had nothing to do with the program. It had to do with the the area. There's nothing to do out there, and you're gonna get bored out of your mind real quick. And if you want to go out and do things, you got to either pay a lot of money to get out there and do them, or you have to work them legs and get them working and go out there. Other than that, though, I enjoyed the program. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was what I needed. It worked for me. I got my CDL out of it. At this point now, I'm about to be on my second week of training with CFI. I'm with the student trainer now. So I've been on the road now for about 2 weeks, if you noticed my other videos on the channel. And so far, so good. I've been able to apply some of the things that I learned at the college to my job now. And I'm learning things now that maybe I didn't learn at the college. And that's another thing. That's where I kind of want to end this on. Is that I think no matter what college you go to and learn to drive, you're never going to know everything going into a company. Whether you're going to do company driving or you're going to do, or if you're going to go straight from college to, owner operator, which I would not suggest. But if you decide to, however you decide to start your trucking career, they're just not going to be able to teach you everything. They're going to be able to teach you as much as they can, but not everything. And you're just going to keep learning in this industry. And I know that for me, every day I get in that truck is a new experience for me. Granted, some of those things that I learned that I've learned are kind of repetitive, right? Driving the truck, turning, all that fun stuff. But there are things that I didn't know yesterday that I'm learning today. That's what the trucking industry is. So don't think, get yourself out of the mindset that when you sign up for this trucking college, that you're going to learn that by the time you get out of it, no matter whether or not it's a 3-week program or a 6-month program, that you're going to get everything you need to know about the trucking industry out of it. Because if you do, you're going in it with the wrong mindset. The mindset you have to go on is that this is your base. This is where you start your base for your trucking career. You take that base from college and you go to the next step. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, And even when you get to that 30-year mark, the steps don't end. You just keep going. You'll be a little bit more seasoned, but I guarantee you're going to keep learning things and whatnot. So that's my review on the Crowder College. Would I recommend it to people? Yes, I would. I would definitely recommend going to trucking school at Crowder College. That's my take on the whole thing. Feel free to leave any comments if you have any questions. Maybe there's something that I may have missed during this video that you thought of. Feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll respond to you. If you have been a former student of Crowder and you want to chime in the comments as well about your experience to let other people know maybe how you experienced about it, feel free to do that as well. But other than that, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm enjoying some home time right now, so I'm going to go ahead and relax for a little bit before I get back on the road. Y'all take it easy, drive safe out there, and y'all have a happy holidays, all right, guys? Peace.